Hey guys, Boney McBonerton here. Yeah, I know, you're not exactly used to seeing this ugly ass face in camera. So, as some of you know, I've been kind of gone for about 8 days. I mean, some of you know, most of you don't really care. But, for these 8 days, I've been dealing with a lot of complicated family issues. I know this is typically a silly, low-effort Let's Play channel, so it's hard to get into serious subjects here, so I'll say it bluntly and straightforward. My grandma died. If I remember correctly, she was still in the hospital on July 2nd after having a nasty fall, and she got taken to the hospital where she basically laid on her deathbed on the 8th. Nobody told us she was dying, or more specifically, the family that was watching over her didn't tell us. Allow me to explain. So, my grandma had remarried with my grandpa in the olden times, meaning that my mother and I aren't actually biologically related to my grandma. But my grandma did have a few blood-related daughters who absolutely resents our branch of the family. The family that they don't even consider us a part of because we're not biologically related. So, as long as I can remember, these several families have been trying to intentionally exclude us from a ton of events. Even going as far as giving us wrong times and addresses. There were even a few birthdays we almost missed just because of these people. Like one time, we actually went to her birthday several hours early to find out we were actually on time. So back to the point, because of these families, we never got to give her our final goodbyes or comfort her in her final moments. I also gotta say, the families that were watching her are fucking rats. So my grandma used to live in this small apartment in this area for the elderly. That's what it was meant for. It's basically like a retirement home with more freedom. Except you could have family members in there who could watch over you, and they didn't have a lot of orderlies. And so one of these families lived with her to take care of her, but what they really did with the place was use it as a den to smoke crack and basically pump out as many welfare babies as possible, while basically giving her almost the bare minimum. And the thing is, when you're into a lot of heavy drugs like crack, you kinda need a lot of money. And what better way to get that money than to basically steal from, technically, well, from my point of view, it's my grandma, but from their point of view, it was their own elderly mother. So, great people, huh? Like, real talk, I cannot tell you how many gifts we sent her that went missing, cause one of these fucking rats had basically stole it and pawned it for crack. And the thing is, she had Alzheimer's at the time, so she couldn't exactly call them out and say, "Oh, hey, where's my $80 magnifying glass that went missing?" Honestly, now that I think about it, it's a miracle we made it to the memorial. If you even want to call it that. They couldn't even tell us where it was. We asked Linda, and she was like, "Oh, I don't know, we'll have to ask Terry, we haven't set it up." And then I fucking talked to my aunt, and she was like, "Oh, I talked with Linda. We already have a date, a time, an address, everything." Honestly, I don't even want to talk about the memorial. Everyone was dressed like they were going to some fucking sleazy high school party. And these fucking rats were taking bong hits in her bed. In their fucking dead grandma's bed. I even heard one of these bitches out loud say, "Tee-hee, at least it's not crack this time." So, ATF, if you're, looking for a place to raid, that's a pretty good spot to check it out. Besides, there's no one there I care about anymore. God, we weren't even there for 10 minutes before we had to leave because just the way they were pilfering through all of her shit, trying to claim anything worth of value. Like, with the way these people acted, You would have thought they didn't care that someone so close to them had died. They obviously cared about it more for the money. And we couldn't even stay there for 10 minutes because the way they acted was so disgusting. Was that if I had stayed there for a minute longer, rats would be dead, and I'd be trying to figure out how to make YouTube videos from a prison cell. That would be actually... That would be a pretty interesting gimmick. The guy who makes YouTube videos from prison. Hey guys, Boney McBonerton here. Today my cellmate here got shanked to death for drinking the toilet wine. So, for the past 10 days, including today, I've been kind of grieving while simultaneously numb with rage, so it's almost too much for me to process. The want and need to put out YouTube videos has just... It just wasn't there. I just didn't want to. Okay, I was going on with... There was too much going on. And I didn't want to tell anyone because I never want to be that kind of YouTuber like Jake Paul where they take something super sad and try to crank it out for YouTube views. I mean, honestly, I don't even fucking care about the views anymore. You can watch this, don't watch this, I just don't fucking care. Also, don't worry about the rats that are currently pilfering through my dead grandma's shit because Linda, the lying little shit, has stage 4 bone cancer. So, when the time comes and she finally passes, I'm gonna be patiently waiting to piss on her grave. Videos will be back.